Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to build something that feels like straight up magic. We're talking about a tiny web server that lets you control actual physical objects just by using your phone. Ready? Let's dive in. So, have you ever thought about it? Really thought about controlling something in the real world, right from your phone? Forget the light switch on the wall. Imagine just tapping your screen and bam, the light comes on. That's exactly the kind of magic we're getting into today. We're building that bridge between the digital world and the physical one. And the heart of this whole project is this amazing little chip, the ESP32. It's tiny, but it's a powerhouse. We're going to get it to host its own little web page, which, get this, will become a remote control for a couple of LEDs. Seriously, it's the perfect way to get your hands dirty and really understand what the Internet of Things is all about. All right, first things first. Before we can build anything cool, we need the right parts, right? Let's take a look at our toolkit. Okay, so here's our hardware checklist, and you'll see it's actually pretty simple stuff. We've got the ESP32 board, that's the brains of the whole operation. A breadboard, this is awesome. It lets us snap everything together without any messy soldering. Then we have our two little LEDs, a red one and a green one. And these guys, the 220 ohm resistors, they are super important. We'll get to why in a bit. And finally, just some jumper wires to connect everything up. Okay, we've got our parts. Now for the fun bit. Let's actually build the circuit. This is where our idea starts to become a real physical thing. All right, let's talk about that resistor for a second. Why do we even need it? Well, think of it like a safety valve. The ESP32 can push out a little too much juice for our tiny LED. Without the resistor, that LED would just poof, burn out instantly. So this little component steps in, slows down the flow of electricity, and keeps our LEDs safe and sound. So here's our blueprint, our wiring diagram. It's super straightforward. We're going to take pin 16 from the ESP32, run it through a resistor, and connect that to the longer leg of the red LED. That long leg is the positive side, the anode. Then we do the exact same thing for the green one, but this time using pin 17. Easy, right? And to finish it off, both of the shorter legs, the negative sides, just need to connect back to one of the ground pins, or GND, on the ESP32. That completes the circuit, and boom, we're ready for electricity. Okay, our circuit is built. It's all wired up and looking good. But right now, it's just a bunch of parts. It needs a brain. So it's time to dive into the code that's going to bring this thing to life. Now, here's something really cool about the ESP32. When it comes to Wi-Fi, it kind of has a dual personality. It can act like your phone and join your existing home Wi-Fi. That's called station mode. Or, and this is what we're doing, it can create its own private Wi-Fi network. That's access point mode. It becomes its own little router. For this project, that's perfect, because it makes the whole setup completely self-contained. So if our ESP32 is throwing its own little Wi-Fi party, it needs a name, right? So people, or devices, know where to go. That name is called the SSID. It's what you'll see pop up in your Wi-Fi list. So if you look in the code, you'll find two really important lines. One is the SSID. That's the network name we just talked about. In our case, it's ESP32 network. And the other is, of course, the password. Can't have a party without a secret password, right? These two things are your ticket in. All right, the circuit is built. The code is ready to go. This is it, the moment of truth. Let's fire this thing up and get our web server live. So, how do we find our new web server? It's like a little launch sequence. Step 1, upload the code to the ESP32 from your computer. Step 2, open up something called the serial monitor. Think of it as a little chat window where the ESP32 can talk to us. And finally, step 3, just press that little reset button on the board. The ESP32 will wake up, create its network, and then, this is the important part, it's going to tell us its unique IP address right in that monitor window. And there it is, that number, that 192.168.4.1, that's our magic key. That's the IP address. It's basically the street address for our web server on the tiny network it just created. That's where we need to go. Okay, now for the really fun part. Grab your phone or your laptop, whatever you've got, open up your Wi-Fi settings. You should see a new network called ESP32-network. Go ahead and connect to it, use that password from the code, and once you're on the network, just open up any web browser, type that IP address into the address bar, and hit go. And success! You should see a super simple web page load up with buttons to turn the LEDs on and off. Go ahead, try it. How cool is that? You just built a web server on a tiny little chip that controls things in the real world. Seriously, this is a huge first step into the whole Internet of Things universe. So let's take a step back. What did we actually just do? I mean, yeah, we're blinking some lights and that's cool, but this is so much bigger than that. What you've just done is learn the fundamental concept behind so much of modern tech. See, the basic idea is exactly the same, no matter what you're controlling. We sent an on and off signal to a little LED. But what if you swap that LED for something called a relay? A relay is just a switch that you can control with a tiny bit of electricity. And that relay, well, it can control things that use a lot of power. We're talking about your desk lamp, a fan, you name it. So, this project, it's not just a project, it's a gateway. It's the key that unlocks a whole world of possibilities for home automation, remote control, and all sorts of cool inventions. It's all built on the exact same foundation you just learned. So really, it just leaves you with one simple question. If you can control a tiny light from your browser, what are you going to control next?